Dan Schneider and the downfall of Nickelodeon. Now, I know all of y'all have been seeing the weird Dan Schneike or whatever his name is clips. Y'all have all been seeing it. And yeah, it's crazy, man. Crazy, you know. I think it's crazy because everybody knew about Dan Schneider for like years before this came out. Like, I remember watching YouTube videos in like 2017 about this, talking about he's an EDP. But nah, I guess now everybody's like, oh, he's a. I mean, everybody knows now. Everybody knows, and everyone knew he liked feet, bro. The old Nickelodeon logo was a foot. It doesn't get more obvious than that. It don't get more obvious than that, okay? Bro, Michelle Obama uncomfortable. I forgot Michelle Obama was on iCarly. Yo, iCarly really had motion. Like, kids nowadays, they don't understand the motion iCarly had. iCarly was going crazy, bro. Crazy. And I think that's real, like, security agents. I actually think that's real. So, what are they called, bro? Secret Service. I think that's real Secret Service. Okay, let's see this video though.
I think it's safe to say that this has not been a great week for Nickelodeon. With the release of the Max documentary Quiet on Set, or, you know, you just watched the whole thing on Twitter with Trick and Josh funny moments looping in the bottom. I don't judge. It exposed a lot of people out there to the horrific reality that is child stardom, delving primarily—
So here's my question though. This is the horrific quality, like, at the time. Y'all think it's still the same in the industry? I feel like now they have to have a little bit better practices, right? Like, there's no way a Dan Schneider could ever be running around, like, after the 2020s, I think. Y'all saying yes. I don't think so though. In the 2020s, like, social media is so big. Back before, like, social media wasn't really that big. Like, you couldn't really talk about the movements didn't happen. Me Too movement didn't happen, all that shit. Nowadays that shit happens, bro, the person's getting canceled and they're done for. It's still pretty bad. No, I definitely think there's definitely shit where, you know, like Hollywood actors or actresses or whatever, they like have to do some deeds for somebody, which, I mean, that's your morality. You just gotta say no. If I was in Hollywood, I'm saying no. But it's not at the same level. Not at the same level as it was before. That's what I think. They have to have some new practices in.
Into the career of Dan Schneider.
Dan Schneider's look should have gave it away.
Channel before. I love focusing much more on his creations rather than the man himself for obvious reasons. It's an eye-opening expose of the world that was 90s and 2000s Nickelodeon. I've never really been one of those people who argued you couldn't separate the art from the artist, but it's hard not to admit that while watching it, it made me seriously reconsider how I felt about some of my favorite series growing up.
Okay, I watched it, but, like, I did not feel the same. That's the thing. Like, even when it comes to artists, let's say an artist that comes out, they did some heinous shit, like, I don't give a fuck, bro. I'm enjoying the music. I'm enjoying the art. I watched the documentary. It was up though. Like, bro, that was literally traumatic. But I'm not gonna look back at it and be like, oh my god, I can't. Like, I can't believe I watched this shit. Like, I can't even look at it the same. Nah. I can still look at clips and be like, oh yeah, it was goated.
Well, this is mainly stuff that we've been hearing for years, especially in relation to Dan Schneider, whose name has been a mere punching bag for almost a decade now. I think this being the first wide-scale publication of something like this, released in a format that people are obsessed with right now, is what's resulted in this resurgence of people finding out about this stuff for the first time and calling for the man to be put in prison. Which, listen dude, if John K didn't get sent to prison, then there's no way in hell Dan will. The most you can do is just keep him as far away from children's entertainment as possible. Because they really go into a lot here.
Now, you know who's goated though? Bro, Jerry was goated. I saw some clips on TikTok and he was like literally fucking separating himself from the kids. Like, he was trying to help the kids at the time. He was the only one that was helping.
Was just keep him as far away from children's entertainment as possible.
It just looks so creepy.
Because they really go into a lot here. His creepy, overprotective nature over his cast. The treatment of them as if they were adults and not in such formative years in their lives. Although I have to wonder why the documentary never brought attention to those weird as hell tags he would have at the end of his episodes to make it sound like the kids were saying something provocative.
I heard you swallow.
Sometimes I do it to myself.
I don't want to get blackballed. How bad do you want this?
As a kid, I just thought it was—
Yo, Dan is a sick man, bro. I didn't even realize that. This is the shit you don't realize until you're older, man. Not the taglines. Not the taglines, too. I thought it was just jokes. I wouldn't even know what black balls was as a kid. I wouldn't even have known what that is. Dan Schneider, sick man. Bro on the Epstein list. I wouldn't be surprised when they finally, if they ever release it, that he was on it.
Funny they were saying random words.
He's a real deal.
And all this got me thinking. Beyond the allegations and truly abhorrent events that transpired as a result of their poor management, Isn't it just weird in general to think about how irrelevant Nickelodeon has become within the last decade?
No, that's
In
facts.
the 90s and 2000s, they were running.
When did y'all stop watching Nickelodeon? I would say, I'm being so serious, probably like 2013 for me, 2014. Like, it was a long time ago when I dropped them. 2019, that's kind of recent. 2014, I feel like past like 2015, like what was there to watch past like 2015, bro? What the was there to watch? Nothing was on anymore at that point. Nothing was really on. Like, I know some of y'all watched Game Shakers. I never watched that. I know some of y'all watched like Henry Danger and stuff. I stopped watching at that time. I wasn't watching anymore.
Avoidable. It was strange for a kid to not be watching Nickelodeon.
Henry Danger spinoff was mid.
I would be so pissed off going to a friend's house and seeing that didn't have cable. Where's the SpongeBob? However, nowadays, if a kid said they still regularly watch the channel, my only response would be, what though? What are you watching, baby?
I feel like there's no point. Even for cable TV is literally like dead pretty much. It's pretty much dead because like you just watch everything on your phone or streaming services. Everybody just buys like Netflix or something. They used to be able to force a show in front of you as a kid. Like, I don't think if iCarly and Victorious and whatever, Drake and Josh, all of them came out this, like, at this time right now, people would be hyped for it. It would be, like, making people's childhoods. Because you would be forced to watch the show. But, I mean, it was good shows. It was good shows. But you'd be forced to watch the show. Nowadays, you have to pick.
SpongeBob, live-action Lincoln Lodge.
Wait till South Park makes this an episode.
From taking even the quickest of glances towards my channel, it's fairly evident that a lot of the programming Nickelodeon has produced over the years means a lot to me. It's one of the only things out there I find the ability to be nostalgic towards. And so in a way, it's sad to see that the company responsible for creating some of the most influential material for me as a kid only stands today as a mere shell of its former self. Nothing more than an awkward subject. And so today, I wanted to spend some time talking about it. Not only why I think the company has gone so downhill from a juggernaut of children's entertainment to something I wouldn't want within a 10-foot radius of my kid, but also, I want to highlight why it did have such a stranglehold on so many kids at one point. And so with that, let's talk about the downfall of Nickelodeon. But first, speaking of tonal shifts, obviously Nick's decline is a result of many factors. The company has become less and less culturally relevant for much longer than just when all this Schneider business came to light.
It just fell off, that's it.
The main reasoning obviously being the fact that kids are much more interested in watching shows on their phones and iPads rather than on televisions. Even Nickelodeon shows with re-uploads.
Damn, that's kind of sad though to think about. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we all grew up watching cable TV and television and cartoons and like, nowadays, bro, like, kids are gonna look back, literally, bro, the trends we find cringe or whatever, and literally, unironically, bro, there's gonna be kids that look back at Skibbity Toilet and be like, it's nostalgic. Unironically, like, it's not even a joke at this point, because you gotta think about it, like, as a kid, you're gonna think back to that shit. Same with Cocomelon. Nah, maybe Cocomelon, actually, you might be right.
Gaining millions of views, but of course that doesn't help the main issue, which is the network
2020
suffering.
nostalgia gonna be
Cable
wild.
just isn't that popular anymore. Most
Yeah,
people
it's
opting
literally
to
just
cancel
that.
theirs in favor of signing up for
Wait, millions of paid TV subscribers? Wait, how many did they have in 2019?
Cable just isn't
2021? There's 74 million? 74 million people still have cable? What are you paying for? What are you paying for? What are you even watching on the TV? That's like way more than I thought. That's twice the population of Canada. That's way more than I thought. I can't, if this is like just America, that's a large amount. Because like America has like 450 million people or something. Maybe less, maybe more. That's still like a large amount though.
Isn't that popular anymore. Most people opting to cancel theirs in favor of signing up for a couple streaming services. And unfortunately, it ain't the one Nickelodeon is on. Paramount Plus is a terrible app. It's got a horrible interface. There's barely anything to watch.
Bro, this app is trash. The only reason why I had like a free trial to watch South Park. That was literally just it. It's too many streaming services, bro. How many do we have now at this point? Hold up. Nigga, do we need this much? Do we need this? What do we need this for? What do we... College humor... No, stop. Stop. This is the type of shit that makes me miss cable. Like, shout out to y'all that just sit there and just fucking pay for all this shit. And pay for every single streaming service, cause couldn't be me.
And overall, it just runs horribly. I've been trying to watch through
Who was paying for the College Humor channel
in the past couple weeks, and it's really opened my eyes to how awful that service is. It's just always buffering, and it isn't a problem I have with Netflix or Max, so I have to assume there just isn't enough money being put into the servers. And so when watching shows or even just navigating the menus, you're constantly met with lag. It is abysmal. But why should they put more money into it? Their subscriber base is already miles below their competition despite being around for a couple years at this point. No amount of charming crossover commercials is helping the fact that Paramount Plus simply doesn't have that much to offer.
Pirating is best.
Viacom have become aware of this too. Because when checking out Netflix recently, I've begun noticing that way more Nickelodeon shows have begun appearing back on there. Fairly Odd Parents, Rugrats, Drake and Josh, a lot of popular series.
Whoa, Netflix actually might be cooking up something. Usually I just see they're just taking off like shows. Have y'all ever been on Netflix and it's like this show is leaving on this date? I'm like, bro, what am I even paying for? I've seen that for at least like 20 or 30 TV shows or movies. I'm watching it. It just pisses me off.
Series are now all available to watch on a streaming service that isn't owned by Nick's parent company, and I think that's incredibly telling. The only Nickelodeon things worth getting on Paramount Plus seems to be the stuff that isn't popular enough for other services to.
What? Baby Shark show? Oh my god, man. I keep forgetting this show exists. You know, this show's out there is making somebody's childhood, and good for them, I guess.
Want to buy the rights to. Or SpongeBob, which they've been putting a massive marketing push into, seemingly being one of the only reasons to get Paramount Plus. Because in reality, what does Nickelodeon have now? Bad reboots of their more successful shows from their heydays, spin-offs to said successful shows, or the occasional new cartoon thrown in.
The fuck is rock, paper, scissors? And why do I want to fucking kick this dude in his scissor hole? It's pissing me off. What is this? What the hell is going on with Nickelodeon?
That only manages to run for a season or two as all the wind is pulled out of its sails in favor of promoting the CM3 SpongeBob
Kick
cartoons.
the paper's ass.
SpongeBob, Loud House, Rugrats, Fairly Odd Parents. That's all there is to Nickelodeon now on a cartoon level. Rock, paper, scissors on the surface level seems like a horrible idea, but upon seeing clips of it, it actually manages to be pretty funny. That doesn't even matter because I'm sure half of you out there watching
Maybe it
this
is funny,
thinking,
I don't know.
What the
Maybe I'm
fuck
just
is
judging.
rock, paper, scissors? I suppose first of all, it's important to highlight why I think Nickelodeon was such a triumphant force in children's entertainment in the first place. To directly contrast
Glad
with
I'm
where
not a
they are
Loud House
now
fan.
and how they lost their way. And to me at least, it came down to three main factors. 1. A lack of competition. In regards to cable channels focused on animation, there were the big three: Cartoon Network, Disney Channel, and Nickelodeon.
No, there really is a big three. Damn, is a big three in like every industry? They got a big three, fucking anime, bro, cartoons, rap, like every art. Is there always a big three in everything? But it was really like, what else were you watching? Nah, Boomerang should be on here, low-key. Boomerang was comp. I used to be watching Teen Titans, bro, with my brother on that shit.
With Nick being in an
Boomerang's
incredibly
technically
lucky
Cartoon
position where
Network.
when
Oh,
it premiered,
never
it
mind.
only had to really compete with Disney Channel. And with them advertising and making their entire personality around being something new, different, and edgy, it gave them the perfect opportunity to gravitate kids' attention. Especially once they started their own original programming. There was something so cool about Nick that almost made their competitors seem more lame in comparison. Why watch Mickey Mouse when you could watch Ren and Stimpy? Reminds me a lot of the Sega versus Nintendo stuff that was happening, at the exact same time. Wow. For me personally, I was glued to Nickelodeon 95% of the time as a kid. The only Disney cartoon I had any interest in was Phineas and Ferb, and
I think I was watching Cartoon Network more. What were y'all watching more? He said he was glued to Nickelodeon. What were y'all watching more? Like, which network? I was definitely watching Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network is, out of all of these, it's number one, I think, in my opinion. For, like, shows and everything, I think it's number one. Yeah, everybody's saying Cartoon Network, Nick. Phineas and Ferb was fire. I watched Gumball. Disney for sitcoms. Yeah, Disney had more, like, the real stuff, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the Hey Jessie's and, I don't know, I can't think of all the shows off the top of my head. Like, had more, like, the mature things, real life shows, I guess.
confusing Cartoon Network with Boomerang and assumed they just played lame old people shows. And so Nick
I like
kept all my
Boomerang.
attention. 2. Nickelodeon was fun. They prided themselves on being a network for kids by kids. Of course that wasn't true, but it's the image they successfully gave off to their viewers, showing kids the stuff they wanted to see, mainly focusing on gross art and stuff more relatable to them. Not only through its programming, but just the network as a whole had such a fun vibe to it. The unique bumpers and advertisements, you had Nick.com and magazine, which made Nickelodeon something you could follow along with, make it a part of your every—
Oh my god. Bro, I had this shit. Now, whoever had one of these, I'm pretty sure I had one of these for Nickelodeon. I think Cartoon Network had one too. Oh my god. Damn, this is the good times, bro. See, this is the type of shit where you needed this to have, like, a good childhood.
every day. Now, of course, a large focus of this was
Had
for
the
money
Nintendo
making
power.
purposes, making sure your kid always had another opportunity to support the company. But they made doing that engaging. Sadly, the magazine industry is something that also suffered from the rise of the internet. And along with that, folks have become much more accustomed to getting their entertainment from the same 3 or 4 social
What is this? The Really Loud House? They got a live version of this show now? Since when?
Social media websites.
Didn't watch the original. I don't plan to watch the live version.
At the current Nick.com. It's a lot of stuff outside of their control, and that's a shame. But unfortunately, this third factor was mainly a result of poor management. 3. Nickelodeon had good shows.
It did.
Dated in a lot of cases, but the simple truth is, Nickelodeon used to stay up to date with a consistent string of quality cartoons, usually releasing 2 to 3 new series every year. Now, not all of them were hits, but at a certain point they were releasing at such a rate that there was always something to look forward to. And at least every now and then when they did release
this show, oh my god, what was the name of this, bro? I don't even remember watching this. All I know is that I see videos about this show, and it's just like the most creepiest thing I've ever seen in my life. I'm so glad I never watched this.
Piece of shit, you at least had confidence in there being one show that you wanted to watch on there. You know, if my options were to sit through half an hour of mediocrity to get to the stuff I want.
No, he said mediocrity. I don't care, bro. Fanboy and Chum Chum, I'm saying it. It's a go-to show. It's a go-to show. I like Fanboy and Chum Chum. I liked it. I don't care. I liked it. This was ass. No. Come on, guys. It wasn't ass, alright? Alright, maybe I'm pushing it with the goated. But it was cool. It was cool. It was something, you know, you watched. It was like Fanboy and Chum Chum, Lil Cuckoo, Fanboy and Chum Chum, and it crazy. Nah, come on, guys. And it was funny with that fucking dude in the Slurpee store or whatever, and he was just like always mad all the time. Y'all just hating, man. I don't care.
Wanted to see our, I don't know, kick a
this
ball
affects
outside.
children's later.
Then sign me up for Fanboy and Chum Chum. Let's go. I'll power through it. This time, 20 years ago, Nickelodeon was getting ready to release Danny Phantom, one of their most iconic series of all time, with the character still being remembered fondly to this day. So much so that it was recently continued in graphic novel form. What is Nick putting out this year? Well, again, Rock, Paper, Scissors, a show that, again, seems alright. But I think it's safe to say that it is not going to be anywhere near as well remembered as the stuff they used to put on.
Go to show.
And let me tell you something about Nickelodeon, and I won't let them censor this.
And a big part of that is on their marketing. If a show doesn't become an immediate hit like SpongeBob or Loud House, then it's not running for more than 2 seasons. Other than those two, every original cartoon currently airing on the channel is only in its first season, with the rest being nothing but toy tie-ins like Transformers Earthspark or Monster High, or spin-offs and crappy reboots like Rugrats.
Yeah, no, the reboots definitely ruin it, I feel like. It ruins the legacy. I feel like people see, like, when they reboot some shit, they're like, oh, they're struggling, like, why are they even rebooting this? And they immediately get turned off. And they don't want to watch anything.
Rugrats or Camp Coral. Stuff designed for the sole purpose of keeping a franchise relevant with something new and exciting, so it doesn't just seem as if they've been putting all their attention into the same 2 shows for the past decade. Which they have. Well, okay, and there's Big Neat. Seems fun. But It's Pony, Middlemost Post, Rise of the Ninja Turtles. All cartoons were, by the time I finally wanted to check them out, they were gone. It's a tired opinion, but really, SpongeBob got too big to feel. It seems like more often than not, the higher-ups only pick—
Have y'all seen, like, the chart of what Nickelodeon airs? Hold on, let me show y'all real quick. It's just sad. All f***ing SpongeBob. They got some Loud House here, too. But literally, like, 60% just SpongeBob right here. If Nick Jr. wasn't here, it'd still be SpongeBob. Still be SpongeBob. And they're being more lenient here. I literally seen a chart. It was like the whole day, pretty much. It was just SpongeBob. Nothing else, just SpongeBob. They're milking my goat's legacy, man. It's a damn shame.
Put these other shows into production to ensure their
There's a
investors
SpongeBob
that they're
marathon
more than just
in early
the
April.
SpongeBob channel. Oh, but that's to ignore all their fantastic live-action programming currently airing, like The Really Loud House, Tyler Perry's Young Dylan.
What the hell?
Aaron. These solo acts have to band together. Why does
maybe that's like Austin Alley or something. I don't know. I don't want to hate on these shows, to be honest, because I never watched them. But it kind of is funny seeing this shit because we're all just like, who? We're literally all like, who? Like, who the f***?
Kids' sitcom have to be about music. Also,
it's not better than Austin Alley, though.
I just named you every series that is currently airing, and I only knew of one of them that even existed before 5 seconds ago when I looked this up. Other than that, we're rapidly approaching the horrifying concept that is the era of 2010's nostalgia. I mean, we did just get the amazing comeback to the hit 2013 series, The Thundermans. Kill me. Something I've been talking about—
Did people watch did any of y'all watch The Thundermans? I don't think I ever watched it, like, ever.
A lot with my friends recently is the idea of suffering for art. Like, Dan Schneider is evidently a pretty terrible human being, but let's be real, he made some good shows. Not just for kids either. My grandmother would watch iCarly and Drake and Josh with us and keep up with the plot points. There was something about his humor and style of comedy that just appealed to people. At the very least in a way that didn't come off as if it were talking down to its audience. Do these shows, being so iconic and well-remembered, justify that? No, not even gonna entertain that thought. The world could have survived without the Amanda Show if it meant these kids didn't have to be emotionally abused on set. My thought process always comes to the fact that these people talk about Dan's work while ignoring what he was producing before getting fired in the kindest way possible. I wish YouTube would give me a $7 million check when I decide.
They gave him 7 mil to leave? 7 mil? Bro, did he not make enough? Did he not make enough? Why are y'all giving him more money? Oh my god, man. With this money, he probably bought like a diamond feet chain or something. Holy fucking freak, man. This is 2018. Maybe it was a little bit more quiet. Like, I feel like people definitely knew though he was a weirdo. No, this is 2018. Yeah, people knew. And they said, oh, hold on. Describe Schneider's departure as a mutual decision. Yeah, alright, buddy. You're not slick, Nickelodeon. You're not slick.
I'd stop uploading. Henry Danger.
I do unspeakable things for 7 mil.
Animated Henry Danger. I grew up watching Amanda Show, Drake and Josh, iCarly, Victorious, even Sam and Cat for as briefly as it aired. I could tell by the time this shit aired, I was disinterested.
Yeah, I was not watching Game Shakers.
I also don't find it to be a coincidence that Nickelodeon only decided to get rid of the man when he stopped bringing them hit shows. But to come back to the topic of Dan choosing not to talk down to his audience, I really think that is the main factor as to why his shows were so popular. But also, what truly marked Nickelodeon's downfall. And it's that they lost sight of their target demographic. Kids. Growing up in this era, it felt like Nick and Disney Channel were always having such a pissing match with each other to see who could produce the more popular sitcom, and more importantly, who could appeal most to the frightening demographic that is tweens. Nick completely rebranding in 2010 to remove all the fun and charm from their presentation in favor of something sleeker, more cool. With the vice president at the time claiming it to highlight.
See, that's always how it happens. You change the logo to some fucking, when brands do that shit where it just looks stale. It looks stale and boring. It's like, who wants to watch it? Nobody's trying to watch your shit.
That new focus for the network.
Taurus was goated.
And it's no secret what that new focus was. Disney had struck gold with Hannah Montana, and with that, Dan eventually tried his hand at his own teen girl who sings sitcom. Literally every single kid's sitcom under the sun at that time tried to make their character a singer, even though it had no basis in the pre-established setup. Wizard, Sunny with a Chance, even iCarly for a little bit. After Hannah Montana, however, it seemed like Disney had lost the marathon. None of their sitcoms reaching anywhere near the success of Dan's, apart from arguably Wizards and maybe Sweet Life on Deck, but I'd argue that was a massive downgrade compared to the original. They still had successful shows, don't get me wrong.
I like Sweet Life on Deck. It is definitely, it's better than the first one.
I remember Austin and Ally sticking around for a while. But it definitely seems like Nickelodeon's attempts stuck more with kids. And ironically, I think that came down to the adult nature of it. Tweens are in that awkward stage where they want to seem older. They don't want to be seen watching SpongeBob, but they also still watch Nickelodeon.
What, bro? I don't care if I'm seen watching SpongeBob. I guess if you're a teenager, especially before, maybe you don't want to see it. You don't want to see him as like a kid or some shit. Bro, I don't give a bro, I'll boot up a SpongeBob episode any day. What is somebody gonna say?
And so Dan had creepily perfected the art of pushing the boundaries for what was acceptable for kids, just enough to appeal to them. It made Victorious and Sam and Cat especially seem so much older and more mature compared to your average kids sitcom. Sam and Cat literally had a fucking Breaking Bad parody and they got away with it. Why?
What?
Sam and Cat literally had a fucking Breaking Bad.
There's nowhere. Hold up, Club Soda. That's supposed to be like the things you mix in first. Where's the powder at? No, they're just cooking. It seems like they got the vats. I'm gonna need to see this scene. That's some shit like you genuinely just wouldn't notice as a kid. That's looking like a cool little sneaking
parody, and they got away with it. Why? Because Dan could do whatever the fuck he wanted. Are they really gonna question him? Nickelodeon worshipped the man. But as a result of that temporary success that couldn't be replicated after the man clearly ran out of steam, what was Nick left with? Their tween audience has been alienated because they don't want to watch a show about 4 annoying kids becoming millionaires through making Pro Jared's new favorite app. And kids who just want to see cartoons.
That's the point of it? The point of Game Shakers is they're trying to make an app? Come on, bro.
Don't want to watch live action stuff, with a majority of Nick's animated material moving over to the much less popular Nicktoons network. They relied so much on Dan Schneider that once they were put in a position to let him go, they had nothing left. Except for SpongeBob. And Linking lied. And so now, here we are. Nickelodeon has never been more relevant as an entertainment company.
Yo, somebody said it, bro. Somebody said it earlier. He made Michelle Obama uncomfortable. Bro, what is you doing? Now, Obama, what was you doing in your presidency? You should have bombed this man. Come on, bro. What is you doing, bro?
Disney Channel at
Joe
least still
Biden
creates cartoons
antics.
that people are interested in watching, that they bother to at the very least promote. And Cartoon Network, well, okay, Cartoon Network's a story for another day, but they've done irreparable damage to the
don't like
reputation.
Michelle,
I'm not
but
really
come on,
sure
man.
how they can fix it apart from completely restructuring. But maybe that's coming sooner than we think. Last year, Nickelodeon rebranded to reincorporate the colors and abstract.
No, why is it white? Why, wait, the logo was always orange. Why'd they change it to like, come on, what are they doing?
Shapes that was once iconic to them. Certainly looks a lot better than
Oh, was it white?
this.
Wasn't it always orange?
And who knows if this is due to a genuine attempt at
It was white? I don't remember it being white. Maybe I'm tripping,
showcasing them shifting focus back to what made them so successful in the first place, or
Normally it was
perhaps
white-
it's just trying
white?
to capitalize on nostalgia. But for their own sake, I certainly hope it's the former. Because I love Nickelodeon. It's something incredibly important to me. I'll never forget going to my great-grandmother's house after school and doing my homework while watching Fairly Odd Parents, getting so excited for summer approaching with them airing the School's Eye musical. Or sitting up late at night with my sisters laughing at reruns of The Amanda Show and Drake and Josh. Watching the Kids' Choice Awards every year and being blown away by them integrating and interconnecting their cartoon series with the live action. At one point, Nickelodeon
It's so
just made me
good.
happy.
Good times.
And I hope it can continue making kids happy in the future. But I suppose only time will tell. Subscribe if you wanna. I'm depressed now.
Thank you, man. A W video. Yeah, so, you know, Dan Schneider is a nigga's rotting in hell for eternity, man. Sick individual. We can only hope and pray this doesn't happen to child actors in the future. I'm really hoping it's not. But let me ask y'all, in chat, would y'all let, like, your child be, like, a child actor? I feel like if you take, like, I would be watching my child 24/7 if I ever let that do it. Like, I literally have a camera on them at all times. Like, they have to wear a body camera, straight up. Everybody said no, damn. Literally, everybody said no. Hey, but I mean, you get free money. All you gotta do is, for child stars or their parents or whatever, the child stars parents, all they did was just manage their kids, and they made money. And their kids were basically doing everything, so. Hey, but, you know, if you're watching this on the tube, join the Discord.